Have you noticed your local supermarket feeling emptier? Bare shelves, sky-high prices, and the items you need most nowhere to be found? It's not just a feeling, it's reality. A new wave of shortages is quietly spreading across America, and this time it's not just eggs, milk, or meat. From essential foods and medicines to everyday household items, many things are gradually disappearing from store shelves. The reasons? New economic and foreign policies, broken supply chains, and soaring import costs. If you don't prepare now, you could find yourself empty-handed in an economy where even the smallest items are becoming scarce. Here's the list of 20 items that are about to vanish from America. Number 1, eggs. Do you remember late 2022 to early 2023 when egg prices skyrocketed, hitting over $7 for a dozen in many states? It didn't stop there. Earlier this year, a small carton of eggs reached a record-breaking $10, a truly nightmarish figure. You'd think it was just a temporary shock, but the reality is the egg crisis never truly ended. Now, it's back, more dangerous, more insidious. Avian flu outbreaks continue to ravage, forcing farms to cull millions of hens. According to the USDA, in just the first half of Q2 2025, nearly 14 million chickens were destroyed, and that number keeps rising. Feed prices are soaring, and transportation costs are spiking due to trade tensions with Mexico. A major supplier of egg production materials for the U.S. major supermarkets like Kroger and Safeway have already started limiting the number of eggs each customer can buy. The question is, if even eggs, a simple staple every family needs, are becoming hard to find, what's next? Number 2, dairy products. Many assume milk is the easiest thing to find. After all, the U.S. has a robust dairy industry. But reality is proving otherwise. In 2025, milk is becoming one of the most severely scarce items in the domestic food distribution system. Why? The number of dairy farms in the U.S. is shrinking at an unprecedented rate, unseen in over 2 decades. Since 2003, the number of dairy farms has plummeted by over 55%, and in the past year alone, more than 2,000 farms closed due to skyrocketing operating costs, according to data from the National Dairy Association. Beyond that, dairy products like cheese, butter, and yogurt are being hit by shortages in packaging materials and restricted imports of raw inputs from European countries. Disrupted supply chains mean millions of gallons of milk aren't reaching consumers on time. States like California and Wisconsin, dairy production hubs, have reported supply drops of up to 15% compared to the previous year. If you have young children or rely on milk for special diets, you're likely feeling this shortage first. Check your fridge. How many cartons of milk are left? And do you think it'll be easy to buy more next week? Number 3, grains and flour. Imagine a breakfast without bread, cereal, or anything made from flour, a simple scenario that's becoming reality for many American families. The issue isn't just prices, but supply itself. The prolonged conflict in Ukraine, the breadbasket of the world, has deeply disrupted the global grain supply chain. The U.S. doesn't directly import much from Ukraine, but global trade operates like interlocking gears. When one link breaks, the entire system falters. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, flour prices in the U.S. have surged over 28% in just 18 months, and bread prices are up more than 15% year over year. Add to that extreme weather, drought in Kansas, which produces 25% of the nation's winter wheat, has severely slashed yields. Farmers report harvest levels at their lowest in 40 years. Some major food manufacturers have had to tweak recipes to use less flour, subtly altering the quality of your favorite foods in ways you might not even notice. Number 4, fresh produce. This isn't just California's story anymore, the state that supplies over 50% of the U.S.'s fresh produce. From Florida to Texas, consumers are paying more for smaller bunches of greens, tinier carrots, and underripe tomatoes. 3 consecutive years of erratic weather, from droughts and blizzards to prolonged heavy rains, have upended planting schedules, causing severe crop losses. According to the USDA, U.S. produce output dropped nearly 12% compared to 2023, the steepest decline since the 2008 financial crisis. But what's even scarier, consumers are losing access to fresh food due to skyrocketing transportation costs. Many small distributors are shying away from perishable produce, while supermarkets prioritize packaged goods with longer shelf lives. If you look closely, many grocery stores in rural or suburban areas no longer offer the variety of fresh produce they once did, a sign that the gap between people and basic nutrition is widening. Are we heading toward an America where fresh produce becomes a luxury item? Number 5. Poultry. For years, chicken and turkey have been the economical choice for working-class families, nutritious and budget-friendly. But things have changed since the pandemic, particularly from 2022 onward. The biggest culprit is avian flu. According to the USDA, in 2023 alone, over 58 million poultry birds in the U.S. were culled due to infection, the highest in history. Supply has plummeted, production costs have soared, and prices are climbing month by month. A chicken breast that once cost $2.50 per pound now exceeds $4, and even higher in states like California and New York. Low-income families are forced to think twice before adding poultry to their carts. Notably, large corporations are increasingly controlling the supply, making it nearly impossible for small-scale farmers to survive. Many are abandoning their farms and selling equipment, unable to compete on price. For consumers, this isn't just about higher costs anymore, it's the unease of not knowing whether they can maintain a protein-rich meal every day. The question is, how much longer can we rely on chicken, a basic staple? Number 6. Frozen seafood. Not everyone loves seafood, but for many American families, frozen fish, especially salmon, cod, or shrimp, was a cost-effective way to enjoy a nutritious meal. However, the situation has completely shifted. The problem? Over 85% of seafood consumed in the U.S. is imported, primarily from Asian countries like China, Vietnam, and India. The global supply chain still hasn't fully recovered from COVID-19. According to a NOAA fisheries report, seafood import prices rose an average of 17% in 2023 due to higher transportation, inspection, and cold chain costs. Additionally, trade tensions between the U.S. and China have caused significant delays for fish products at ports, leading to shortages in supermarkets. Some retail chains have even started limiting purchases per household. Domestically, fishing regions like Alaska are grappling with ocean warming, drastically reducing salmon and crab yields. Local communities, long reliant on fishing, are abandoning their traditional trade due to unstable incomes. This isn't just about frozen fish becoming pricier, it's a sign of a deeper imbalance quietly spreading through the nation's food system. Number 7. Baby food. When you think of baby food, you likely picture formula, cereal, or specialized snacks. But the reality is that shortages of these items are becoming increasingly apparent. In 2022, we witnessed the worst baby formula shortage in decades. Major manufacturers like Abbott, Nestlé, and Mead Johnson faced issues with raw materials and production capacity. According to the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, over 43% of stores nationwide reported formula shortages by mid-2022. The primary causes were supply chain disruptions from the pandemic and quality issues at production facilities. Beyond formula, other baby foods like cereals and purees are also affected by raw material shortages while demand continues to soar. As parents face empty shelves, they're not just worried about providing adequate nutrition for their children, but also grappling with price hikes. A can of formula can now cost up to 30% more, a significant burden for low-income families. Number 8. Canned foods. If you're looking for a quick, convenient meal, canned foods are likely a go-to choice. However, not everyone realizes that some favorite canned products are becoming scarce on shelves. The latest data from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) shows that canned food manufacturers are struggling to maintain production levels. Items like canned beans, meats, and soups are becoming less common in supermarkets. The main reasons are rising transportation costs and soaring raw material prices. According to the National Canners Association, manufacturers have faced 20 to 30% increases in the cost of materials, including packaging and food ingredients. Canned foods have long been seen as a long shelf life solution for tough times. But now, grabbing a few cans for dinner is no longer straightforward. Many families are dealing with escalating prices and declining quality as producers cut non-essential ingredients to keep products affordable. Additionally, changing dietary trends, with more people opting for fresher organic foods, have impacted canned food demand. Despite this shift, canned goods remain vital in the current economic climate. Thus, their scarcity and rising costs are issues that can't be overlooked. Number 9. Spices and condiments. If you think spices and condiments are just supplementary products, you likely haven't grasped their critical role in daily meals. Those small bottles of soy sauce, chili paste, or seasoning powders may seem minor, but they're essential in creating the distinctive flavors of dishes. However, the concerning reality is that some spices and condiments are becoming scarcer than ever. According to a report from the National Retail Federation, imported spices from Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand and Vietnam, are facing supply challenges. The main culprits are disrupted supply chains and soaring transportation costs, causing prices to spike rapidly. Some stores have reported spice price increases of 15 to 25% over just a few months. Additionally, trade policies play a significant role. Higher tariffs on spices imported from Asian countries not only drive up prices but also reduce availability. Condiments like hot sauce or fish sauce are no exception, and consumers are starting to notice emptier spice aisles. We may soon face a future where familiar family dishes lack their beloved seasonings, diminishing the flavors we've long enjoyed in our meals. Number 10. Snacks and confectionery. If you're a snack enthusiast, you might need to rethink your habits soon. Candies, chips, and sodas are becoming rarer on shelves, and this shortage doesn't just affect snacking habits, it's creating broader ripple effects in the food industry. According to the Snack Food Association, over 60% of popular U.S. snacks are made with imported ingredients. The primary drivers of this shortage are supply chain disruptions and rising raw material costs. Products like chocolates, cookies, and savory snacks are struggling to maintain steady supply. In fact, prices for chocolate and gum have risen 10 to 15% in the past year, and if this trend continues, costs will climb even higher. At the same time, shifting consumer habits toward organic and low-sugar options are reducing demand for traditional snacks and candies. Major companies like Nestlé, Mondelez International, and PepsiCo face the dual challenge of cutting production costs while innovating to align with modern consumer trends. As a result, your favorite bag of chips or chocolate bar might vanish from shelves, replaced by pricier alternatives or nothing at all. Brace yourself, because the joy of snacking may not be what it used to be. Number 11. Toilet paper and paper towels. Toilet paper and paper towels might seem like mundane items, but when a supply chain shock hits, we realize just how essential they are. Beyond the COVID-19 pandemic, current challenges in production and transportation are making these products increasingly scarce. According to the Consumer Brands Association, while toilet paper and paper towels are primarily produced domestically, they heavily rely on imported raw materials, such as pulp from Canada, Chile, and Northern Europe. Issues like raw material shortages, disrupted shipping from ports, and rising costs are creating significant hurdles for the industry. Reports indicate that toilet paper prices have risen by an average of 10 to 20% in recent months. The biggest fear for consumers isn't just higher prices, it's the outright shortage of these products in stores. Recently, many shoppers have faced empty shelves, a scenario unimaginable for such a basic necessity. This has led consumers to hoard toilet paper and paper towels as indispensable items, sparking a wave of panic buying. The big question is, are we about to witness another toilet paper crisis like the early days of the pandemic? Number 12. Personal hygiene products. You probably wouldn't think that personal hygiene products like soap, shampoo, or toothpaste could face severe shortages, yet issues with imported raw materials, exchange rate fluctuations, and supply chain disruptions are starting to impact these indispensable household staples. According to the National Association of Manufacturers, 70% of personal hygiene products in the U.S. rely on imported raw materials, particularly from countries like India, China, and Mexico. Global supply chain challenges are creating significant barriers to their availability. Additionally, manufacturers face rising costs for raw materials and transportation, driving up product prices. A recent study found that 45% of U.S. consumers paid more for personal hygiene products over the past year. This not only strains family budgets, but also limits access to basic products for low-income households. As demand for items like soap and shampoo rises, supply shortages are more likely, leaving supermarket and store shelves empty. So, are you prepared for soap or shampoo prices to potentially double in the coming months? Or for a day when your favorite product is nowhere to be found on the shelves? Number 13. Over-the-counter medications. Over-the-counter medications are among the most critical products for daily health care. From pain relievers and cough syrups to flu remedies, they're readily available for self-care without a doctor's visit. But with supply chain disruptions like those we're seeing now, these items are facing severe shortages. According to the Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. OTC drug market has grown 8% annually over the past 3 years, driven by increased demand for at-home treatment. However, challenges with raw materials and rising production costs are pushing OTC drug prices higher. A recent study from the Institute for Supply Management revealed that over 30% of pharmaceutical companies are struggling to secure the ingredients needed to produce over-the-counter medications. This has led to shortages and sharp price increases for common drugs like acetaminophen and ibuprofen. Imagine waking up with a headache or flu and finding no medicine in stores. What would you do? This isn't just an individual issue, it impacts public health. Rising OTC drug prices aren't easily absorbed without serious consequences, especially for low-income families who lack access to healthcare services. Number 14. Batteries and chargers. If you think batteries and chargers are just minor, unimportant products, think again. In an era where nearly every device, from phones and laptops to smartwatches and household appliances, relies on batteries and chargers, a shortage or supply chain breakdown could cause a major shock. According to Bloomberg, demand for lithium-ion batteries and chargers surged last year, but production hasn't kept pace. Supply chain disruptions in countries like China and South Korea, key producers of battery and charger components, have driven prices up significantly. For example, lithium-ion battery prices rose over 15% in 2024. Products like wireless chargers and portable power banks are also becoming limited in quantity. This could create challenges when critical devices like phones, laptops, or even electric vehicles fail to charge. The frustration of suddenly losing power in daily life. Can you handle it? Number 15. School supplies. If you're a parent, you know how crucial school supplies are for children. From pencils and notebooks to textbooks and backpacks, these essentials are vital for students starting the new school year. However, amidst current supply chain disruptions, these items are becoming harder to find and more expensive than ever. According to the National Retail Federation, consumer spending on school supplies in 2024 rose over 10% compared to the previous year, with the average cost per K-12 student reaching $700. Yet supply chain issues, particularly at manufacturing plants in Asia, are causing shortages. Major brands like Crayola and Papermate have reported supply constraints due to rising transportation costs and scarce raw materials. Without pencils, notebooks, or textbooks on time, your child's education could suffer. For low-income families, a backpack or a set of textbooks can be a significant financial burden. This isn't just about students. It's an issue of educational equity, as not everyone can afford basic learning materials. Number 16. Household electronics. Think about the household electronics in your home: refrigerators, washing machines, dryers, microwaves. These aren't just conveniences, they're indispensable for daily life. But as manufacturing plants face raw material shortages, these items are becoming pricier and, at times, unattainable. According to the Consumer Technology Association, sales of smart household appliances in the U.S. dropped 5% in 2024 compared to 2023, largely due to shortages of electronic chips and rising shipping costs. Major appliance manufacturers like Whirlpool and Samsung are also grappling with supply chain disruptions. This has made products like refrigerators, washing machines, and dishwashers harder to purchase, with prices climbing steadily. Imagine your refrigerator breaks down and you can't replace it immediately because of exorbitant costs. What would you do? This isn't just a problem for low-income households, it's a growing concern for middle-class families who rely on these appliances for a comfortable life. As a result, household electronics are becoming high-priority items that are increasingly out of reach during this crisis. Number 17. Furniture. When it comes to decorating a home, furniture is key to creating a comfortable living space. However, for many families, the cost of furniture is becoming a significant challenge. While not as essential as food, the need to update living spaces or purchase tables, chairs, beds, or sofas remains a vital part of life for many households. According to Furniture Today, furniture prices in the U.S. rose 18% in 2024 compared to the previous year, particularly for items made from natural wood and high-end branded designs. The main drivers are shortages of raw materials due to global supply chain disruptions, coupled with soaring transportation costs and a lack of labor in the manufacturing sector. Imported furniture from Asia, where production has been heavily impacted by the pandemic, is especially affected. For many, replacing an old sofa or bed is turning into a financial puzzle. Not only are they facing skyrocketing prices, but they're also enduring longer wait times for delivery, often double or triple what they were before. This is an unavoidable situation as supply disruptions and rising shipping costs become widespread market issues. Number 18. Kitchenware. If you love cooking or simply want a well-equipped kitchen, you know that kitchenware is indispensable in every household. From pots, pans, and knives to blenders, these items directly impact the convenience and efficiency of meal preparation. However, right now, these products are not only getting pricier, but also harder to find. According to IBISWorld, revenue from kitchenware products in the U.S. increased nearly 15% in 2024, driven by rising material costs and growing demand for smart kitchen appliances. Yet, as retailers struggle to import goods from major manufacturing countries like China and India, product scarcity is becoming a real issue. While domestic kitchenware manufacturers are ramping up production, the persistent supply shortage continues to drive prices upward. Number 19. Children's toys. For parents, nothing is more precious than seeing the joy on their children's faces when they receive a favorite toy. However, these gifts are far from cheap. Toys, whether educational or simple, are being heavily impacted by inflation and production challenges. According to a report from the NPD Group, toy prices in the U.S. rose about 12% in 2024, with the potential for further increases if supply chain issues persist. The main culprits are shortages of electronic chips, especially for tech toys like robots or remote-controlled cars, and skyrocketing transportation costs. This means even seemingly simple toys, from dolls to Lego sets, are becoming more expensive than ever. The concern is that parents aren't just facing higher prices, they're also enduring longer wait times for their kids' favorite toys. While not essential, toys remain a significant annual expense for families. With rising costs, many parents are forced to rethink their purchases, dampening the vibrancy of this market. Number 20. Pet products. Today, pets are an integral part of many families. Products for pets, food, toys, accessories, or health supplies are seeing significant price hikes. But why are these items becoming so costly? The answer lies in shifting consumer demand and economic conditions. According to the American Pet Products Association, APPA, the U.S. pet care industry reached $130 billion in revenue in 2024, a 12% increase from the previous year. The primary reason is that many households now treat pets as family members, willing to spend more on them. However, rising costs for raw materials, especially meat and fish used in pet food, and production expenses have driven up prices. The cost of pet care has undeniably become a significant burden for many households. Buying dog or cat food, health products like medications or vitamins, or even toys is increasingly expensive. This forces pet owners to budget more carefully, sometimes opting for cheaper, lower-quality products. In this context, some families may cut back on non-essential pet products or turn to homemade toys. Yet despite financial challenges, pet owners can't neglect providing the best care for their animals. It's not just a responsibility, but a reflection of the love they have for their four-legged family members. With the relentless price increases across essential items, from food to pet products and household goods, it's clear that life is becoming more challenging than ever. While these issues may not be immediately solvable, being aware of the situation allows us to plan our spending more wisely moving forward. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like and comment to share your thoughts on the current situation. Let's discuss and find the best ways to tackle these challenges together, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on upcoming videos about critical issues in today's economy and daily life. The information provided is for reference only and sourced from publicly available data. We are not responsible for any financial decisions made by viewers based on this information.